Hello and welcome back to a special episode of Dodge, Parry and Roll. No, we are not wearing the same clothes 2 weeks in a row. We are recording out of tempo as Vinny heads off to Japan this coming. By the time you hear this, will you be back or
Nah, I'll still be in Japan.
still be in Japan? All right, very jealous. I'm your host for today, Joshua LaRosa, joined as always by my dear friend Vinny Chens with a fresh haircut. Vinny, how are you?
I'm good, man. It feels good to get a fresh haircut because I was looking disheveled.
A little fluffy.
Yeah, it was a little fluff. I was actually contemplating getting a buzz cut, but I spoke to the guy. I had a new hairdresser. I had a new barber today.
Right. Same
my
locale, just different barber.
Same locale, different barber. My barber is away. He actually gets back in 2 days.
Right. So it wasn't like a barber cheating.
Nah, it wasn't a cheating scandal, but I did feel cheated. But you know what? Not gonna lie, this guy did a pretty good job.
Did a really good job. It's funny. We jumped on and tried to record again. My internet decided to die, and it stopped on Vinny kind of angling his face to show off. Yeah, like that. And I kept talking because I'm like, for a second, I'm like, in my head, I'm like, man, he really wants to show off this haircut. And it took me a second to go, this is the YouTube intro video all over again.
It's happening again.
I'm talking to myself.
Yeah.
It does look really good. I'm due for a haircut as well.
Yeah.
I'm in that period where it's like, I could push.
You grow it out?
Yeah. No. Those days are done of me even entertaining that idea. But I have this period where my hair I think it looks really good when I get it freshly cut, like that short shave, similar to how you have it. Then it also has a period where I like the longer hair, like it works. But then it's dangerous because if I go too far, the sideburns start getting a bit poofy.
Yep.
And then I've gone too far, you know?
Yeah, and then it's like, you can't just touch it up. You can't just get like a little bit done, leave the length. Like you don't want to like a half cut. I mean, if you're there, you might as well trim the whole thing.
Oh, yeah. No. If you're there, you're doing the full thing. I don't know if I said this on camera, so I apologize if I'm repeating myself. I know I've told someone this. Did I mention to you about my shaving and my realization about the way you're supposed to shave? Okay. So...
Up?
No, not that. That's fine.
I was going to say, if you don't know to go that way, then...
No. I know that. So I'm not generally a hairy facial hair person, as you know, right? And
as we can see.
Yeah, and I've always, probably up until my mid-ish 20s, well, even late 20s, really, had a mostly clean-shaven face. I liked the way I looked 2 days into a freshly shaved. I hate the day you shave it, the day after, even the day after that, I'm like, ugh, and then it's like the sweet spot. So I'm now at a point where I actually keep a bit of facial hair on the mustache and a bit around the face, as you can tell. But I was noticing in photos, I'm like, why does my head look so huge in these photos? And I'm like, I know I'm not the thinnest I've ever been, but I'm like, I know I'm not that big. What is going on?
Oh, you're not doing the illusion of the cut?
What I didn't realize, because I've never had to do this before, and I'm not really doing a good job today, I didn't realize as part of the routine, you don't just shave. You also up in the neck, basically go to the skin to give the illusion, not the illusion, but to remove the hair on the bottom, like the neck beard part.
Yeah, you don't want to go full neck beard.
What was happening was I looked like a neck beard.
Oh no!
That's
how the double chin starts.
Yes, and I'm like, I know I'm not that. That ain't me. You know what I'm saying? That ain't me. And I accidentally, when I was shaving, nicked a bit there. And then I'm like, oh, hold on. And then I went a bit higher and then kind of angled it a bit. And I'm like, I'm back. No one thought to tell me this.
I'm who I'm meant to be.
I'm who I'm meant to be. So now I know. Now I do a 2 shave. And then I'll go bare bone to kind of neaten up here. And then raise the neck.
It up. Yep. That's how I do it. Get a little bit under here. See here, it's slightly less. Yeah.
I didn't have the cliche when you're a kid and it's your dad teaches you how to shave. I think my dad's like, this kid's not growing any facial hair. There's no point. So by the time I had it, it was like, you can figure it out on your own. You're old enough. Yeah. So
it's kind of embarrassing. I used to got my sister to wax this because I didn't want. There was a point in my life where I had a dirty little dirty little mustache when I was like 13, 14, and I didn't want it because it kind of looked a little bit weird. And so my sister's like, "Oh, I can wax it." So I actually had this waxed at one point in my life. Never, oh, it was terrible. I don't know why I thought that was a good idea.
No.
Just grow facial hair. It's so like I prefer it more than anything else.
I'll raise you one.
All right, let's hear it.
I used to.
Yeah, I remember.
I used to Veet, right? Which is a hair removal
Cream. That shit burns.
cream. And I used to do that on my. There was a phase where you used to think that was cool, particularly when I was like in my gym phase, and I'm like,
Yeah.
no arm hair, no leg hair. This is
You want to be
what,
hairless.
This is what the
It's
ladies want.
smooth.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And this was during the period where I wasn't an expert at shaving, and I was like, I'm just gonna put a little bit of Veet, on the mustache, and it was like second degree burns. Basically,
Yeah.
I was.
It just absolutely burns your skin.
And you're not supposed to put it on your parts,
But you did.
which I did. That I managed because I didn't put it on the actual.
Shush.
There was no shaft. Like that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It was just the
You
surrounding.
went sharp left.
Yeah, we're not going near that. But it was the surrounding suburb.
You went to the roots,
Went to the roots. Yeah,
not the trunk.
between
The
Ball
roots.
Street and Grundle.
Grundle.
Grundle. What I love that word. So yeah, that was a once only affair.
Oh, you learnt. That was immediate. Learn from your mistakes.
Yeah, but I'm a typical guy. Like I don't have it
Are you a
anymore.
groomer? Are you a groomer?
Where are we talking?
Like just from the
Yes,
neck down,
I don't.
Do you groom?
I'm not very hairy, as you can see, right?
Yeah.
Downstairs, always maintained.
Yeah.
Always maintained. That was a rule. That was from day dot. That was my commitment to Naomi. It was part of my vows. There will never be an issue. It's like bad breath for me. You'll never find me with bad breath because I am so conscious about having bad breath that if I have the smallest inkling that not everything's 100% there, I'll be back. You won't have me in your face. Right?
Yeah. So you just
Same
want to keep
situation.
It neat, keep it tidy, keep it fresh.
You never know when
Yeah.
the moon strikes.
It's true.
Is that it? The moon strikes. Is that what they say?
The mood.
The mood. Oh, I thought it was when the mood strikes. Moon. Oh, when the mood strikes. Okay. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
you learn something new.
That's it. You learn a little bit about us, a little bit personal.
Did I
That's
intro
what we're
the
here
show
for.
at all? Did I even... I did, right?
Yeah. We spoke about how this is like a split episode. We're doing two.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Video game,
Yeah.
somewhat, existential crisis, shaving,
Show.
body hygiene show. Armpits? What do we do with the armpits?
Clip out like a little bit, but leave a little bit of length. I don't want full bear there.
Yeah, that's a difficult situation for me because I find if I'm too long, I sweat, and then if
Yeah.
it's no hair, I sweat because there's like
Yeah.
this
So you need a little bit of length,
little fuzz,
little fuzz.
and I think it's manly to have a bit of fuzz there,
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's
but
very
only a little.
yeah. But you don't want to go full George Bush, do you?
Yeah, you don't want a mane like some sort of like Scar from Lion King. Okay, you don't want that.
Yeah.
What are we doing? All right, video games. What have you been playing, Vinny? The last 2 weeks. Are we still on the same Hades
What?
League and Pokemon TCG? That's a deep cut joke. What have you been up to?
Yeah. Well, you know what? I played a couple of games of League.
So I was right.
Hades 2.
Mm.
I will go back to Hades 2. But and I'm playing Trails in the Sky. Still up to
talk
maybe
about
just
it.
over 2. Just started chapter 2, so prologue, chapter 1, chapter 2.
Okay. Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Yeah. But
Pretty far
I
in
thought
then.
the
There's
Hades-
4 chapters
Yeah.
in total, including 5, including the intro.
the prologue.
Prologue.
Yeah. Hoping to get some playing time on my flight to Japan.
Yes. How are we feeling
good.
now that you're past the initial demo phase?
It's so much fun. Like the mechanics of the sphere. Like I'm gonna call it the sphere grid because that's what it kind of reminds me of. But the orbment.
Orbments. Yep.
Yeah.
To me, it reminds me of a materia system, but different. Similar in the
Sphere
sense that you're
material
putting
system.
orbs
The Final
into it.
Fantasy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I quite like that. I do like how each one has a separate value, and that's going to contribute to having a different ability, and then kind of everyone can use everything except for kind of Joshua. He needs that time, mind.
Yeah, each of the characters besides Estelle don't have a
Need a base
mandated like
material.
center.
Yeah, a base material.
Yeah.
Base ornament.
Be careful. The Trails people will come after you.
Yeah. But I'm really liking it. But back to Hades, I finished Fear, Heat, you heard. So after you beat Hades, you unlock this thing called like Fear runs or Heat runs, where you can up the difficulty of the game depending on what you're doing. So you'll have and they're kind of like trials. So you'll tick a skull or tick a thing. It's like your character enemies do about 20% more damage. You can tick that about three or four times.
Okay.
And they have different milestones in the game, whether you can beat it like 8 Heat is the term, or 8 Fury, 8, 16, and 32. So, and you get a trophy in the game.
Okay.
So I just beat 32 Heat, top and bottom.
Wow.
So there's two runs in Hades 2. Double the fun. But I did 32 Heat both runs. Rivals, for people who listen, is you get your bosses in each world get stronger, and they get an additional phase.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, it was actually so much fun. So stressful too. Oh my god, so stressful.
Game of the year for you?
No, it's not.
Still,
look,
Expedition?
honestly, it's still Expedition 33. Yeah. But I'll tell you this about Hades too, and I was saying this to one of my mates. The story let me down.
Really interesting.
Yeah, the story, like the main story, let me down. The epilogue, very good. So that was kind of cool. But and like when you finish Melina Way's story, that was really, really like, no spoilers, but cinema.
Yeah. That art style is so bloody great. Isn't
so
it?
good, so good.
Ben
But
Starr's in it too, right?
yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Before we go talking about Trails, let's what have you been playing?
So Trails. So do we want to just wrap up Trails there and then, since
Right.
I have been playing it? I finished it. So
okay. Was it longer than what you said it was?
Or
were you at the end when you said
no, there was a little bit. It was one of those like multi-phase final bits. That was the only time I actually think I really lost. I think like consistently, where I'm like, man, I really need to just buckle down. And the same thing happened with Metaphor. It was like that last boss. I'm like, Jesus. Like, it's like the whole game's like, no grinding needed. And then the last one's like, oh, okay. And I like how there's this, if you do lose a battle, you can actually reset with the lower enemy difficulty. I like that, because you don't necessarily want the whole game to drop in difficulty, but you might just, if you're stuck on the boss and you really... I was tempted, but I'm like, I can't, just in case it affects my trophies. But it doesn't. I found out afterwards. And I also found out they still haven't fixed the... I tweeted at them, Gun Ho Entertainment America. I'm like, man, I'm missing Chapter 1 Prologue trophy because I played the demo. This is ridiculous. Like, it should be... Fix it. Just fix it. It should be like, if Chapter 2 pops...
Chapter 1 should automatically pop.
Yes, if you played it on the demo, it makes sense. But no, I'm in. I'm excited to have another franchise that I have in my like rotisserie of games that I play. These guys like pump out games very quickly. Like I think we spoke about a week or two or an episode or two ago.
Yeah,
like there are multiple games.
Trails Cross.
Yeez. Yeah. And then there's another Trails mainline game coming out. There was the leak of Chapter 2 already for Trails in the Sky. So I think I'm in. Like I'm not rushing to... I don't want to overload and like start blazing through the series. Like I think I'll stick to the remakes as they come out.
Yeah.
And I think ideally they're going to kind of continue the main series, which I think it's actually set to kind of finish up fairly soon in this whole thing. And then keep remaking the older games to get them up to speed onto the same kind of combat system, the same style of game. Because, yeah, like I said last time, Horizon and I think into Zero, into Cold Steel are older in the way that they play. I don't believe they have like the real-time action combat or any of those other things that they've kind of reintroduced as part of this remake.
I quite like the hybrid real time action combat. You barrage them a little bit, then you stun them, then you go into the turn based, and
Yeah.
you already start with an advantage.
And
Working with your delays as well. I thought the game mechanics were actually pretty sound for a JRPG.
Yeah, I actually want to talk about that in a sec as well. But I do like the I like how we're entering an era where it's like JRPGs aren't being made with the intention of like really wasting your time. Like,
Yeah.
I don't
Yes.
like, some people really like grinding. Like some of the podcasts that I listen to, like Colin's like, I love that. Like I find comfort in seeing the numbers go up and blah, 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 blah. For me, it's like, I don't, because it's, I mean, I do in the sense, I have like a rule where it's like, if I'm in an area for the first time, any enemy encounter that I come across, I'll fight. But if I'm running back through an area, I'm not going to stop and fight everything, right? So I don't know if that'd be included as grinding, but I kind of like how, you know, we even see this in Digimon, right? Where it's like if the enemy's lower than you, you can attack them in the field and just instantly kill them. Metaphor did this. I believe Trails Through Daybreak was the Trails game to introduce this real-time combat and kind of the stun. I mean, Final Fantasy VII does it in Remake to a degree. Like, you kind of
Persona 5 did it.
Persona 5. But yeah, the combat system in Trails Through Trails Through the Sky, sorry, is really great. Like, it took me a while, I think, past the demo to actually really understand how it all works. Because there is a lot here. Like, there's a lot of, like, ailment effects and status effects and buffs and debuffs. There are moves that delay turns for your opponent. Moves to kind of steal those randomized bonuses that you get in every turn as well. So it really took me a bit of time to kind of like get my head around it. But it's one of those things where it's like, now that I get it, I think I'll probably land into the second game and be like pretty quick to kind of build my team and do all that. But it is very much a slow burn, right, this game. And I think everyone who's a huge fan of Trails is always, well, the people that I listen to online have always said that the first Sky game in particular, which was the first game released on PSP in 2004, was slow. And it wasn't until really the end where, like, you know, the table gets flipped and it's like, whoa, like you get that revelation and it's like setting things up. But I'm down. Like, I think I'll definitely continue to buy these. I actually went and bought it physically. So I had it on order physically, played the demo, and then I was like, I don't know if I like this. Cancelled it, then finished the demo, and then I kept thinking about it, and I'm like, fine. So then I couldn't find it again physically, bought it on PSN, and then paid $10 more to buy it again physically. Plus,
did you refund on PSN?
No, it was too late. I already finished it. I was literally at the end of the game.
Oh, okay.
So I literally paid $190 all up to play this game.
Oh wow, you're a fan. That's officially that you're in fan base territory.
Well, I knew that if I didn't buy it now, because they do release these games in very limited quantities. Like, I think EB Games is the only place that sold the physical copy that I can find online in Australia. And I was in enough where I'm going to buy part 2 physically, and then eventually part 3, and hopefully they continue. Where I'm like, I can't have a collection with part 2 and 3 sitting on a shelf without I can't be doing that.
Yeah, you know what's really going to burn me? If Chapter 2 is Switch 2 only, and if Switch 2 only is a digital download code only. If that's a game on a...
Yeah, that could happen.
Yeah, I know, and that's gonna really burn me, because then I'm like, do I switch to PS5 for this game? And then I have one copy of each, and I'm just going to hate myself for it. But I don't know, we'll see.
We'll see. I mean, it's going to be running on the same engine, so if they've got Chapter 1 playing, hopefully they just do the same thing. Yeah, how much was the upgrade? Was it literally $1?
Yeah, it was. I think it was $1 or $1.99.
That's
$2
interesting, right?
Australian.
Is that the way publishers and developers get around this whole Switch 2 thing? It's like, okay, we release on a Switch, we've already got prices negotiated, and then we just upgrade at a very minimal cost.
Yeah, but then you still have to... The annoying part about that is you have to cater to the Switch 1, which means you can't push the limits graphically until you end up having... Because then if it doesn't run at all on the Switch 1, it's going to be no one's going to buy it because it's going to review bomb. And then
Did
it's like,
you
oh, it's a great
play the game at all on its base version before upgrading to see the difference? Have you seen any of the differences online?
No, I haven't seen any of the differences online.
Okay.
But I was saying, like, hypothetically, like if people want to get around that because the Switch One cartridges are cheaper and they have set different quantities of storage, then someone can develop a Switch 2 game for the Switch One, but it's going to obviously run poorly unless
Yes.
you play it on the Switch 2
Yeah.
and pay for that upgrade pack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, Trails in the Sky, loved it. Was thinking about it after I put it down. It's always a good sign.
Yeah, that is good.
Yeah, and now I jumped across to Ghost of Yotei, which I've... it's actually been good. It was like nice being back into like AAA territory. It's like, yeah, now I can see the pores in Atsu's skin. Like this is...
Oh, yeah.
We're back to AAA, Josh. So yeah, Ghost of Yotei picked... I had that at launch, but I knew this is like a commitment game, all right? And I'm like, I'm not mixing this up. Let me just get through Trails, and then I'll jump into Ghost.
Smart move.
Yeah, about 4.5 hours in. Still early enough where I really don't have firm thoughts on the game as a whole. I will say it's very much more Ghost of Tsushima. So if you were a fan of the first game, this is very much of that ilk. It does try to differentiate itself a little bit from Ghost of Tsushima. Like Ghost had different stances that you'd do, and you'd use like a different stance depending on if the enemy had like, you know, a sword or a bow or whatever. This game introduces like different weapons. So it's like, you know, katana, dual katana, udachi, which is like the big staff thing. There's others which I haven't unlocked yet, but it's like different weapons you use against different enemies, and you swap between those weapons depending on what the enemies are doing. The way that the story's told, it's like kind of non-linear, which I'm finding interesting. Like it's not the whole, you know, you do a main story mission, it progresses the story forward, you get a cutscene, you know, like, you know, you're progressing the game forward. This style of game is a little bit more like you'll randomly attack it, you know, like every open world game has like, here's like an enemy den that they've taken over, and you got to clear the leader and kill the leader, and then you kind of take over that piece of land again. And then like that will happen, and then you get a story cutscene about like the main villain guy kind of finding out that Atsu's like taking down their territories, and that kind of progresses the story forward. So little things like that, or you'll go to camp, you'll rest, you'll get a cutscene or a flashback.
Okay.
The whole point of the game is taking down the Yotei 6, these 6 kind of enemies. You can take them down in mostly any order you like. I think it like opens up 3, and then you can pick any 3.
And it opens up another 3.
Then they open up another 3 or another 2, and then back to...
So it's like semi-linear,
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not full linear.
No. But I kind of like Sucker Punch embracing this, and we'll talk about this, actually. You already hear of this if you've watched our PAX episode, where the campaign director kind of spoke about how they approach non-linearity and the ability to kind of do that at your own pace. And I think it works with Ghost, because a lot of what Ghost did, as in Tsushima did, which was great, and that's what kind of got it a lot of the positive reviews at the time, was like, it didn't really have the overwhelming map. Like, you would naturally discover things, right? You'd be riding your horse, and then you come across, like, you know, you see a fire in the distance, you go there's a camp, there's enemies, and then that takes you to a fox den, and then that takes you to a shrine, and I've spent like that 4.5 hours literally doing bounties, shrines, just exploring, you know, leveling up in quotes. So from that aspect, it's really fun to just kind of lose yourself to that. But I also don't think, if you didn't like Ghost of Tsushima, would this game blow you away, you know, outside of probably its graphical things? Probably not, because it is very much more of the same. So, okay. Yeah. Did you have any thoughts on it? Any questions? Are you planning on playing it?
Oh, I'm definitely planning on playing it. Like, I was kind of sold at the PAX panel that we went to. But we'll talk about more of that. You would have heard us talk about that.
Check it out.
But yeah, check it out.
I can't believe you said, Vinny, that you took a shit in the middle of PAX.
Oh yeah, I did. It was absolutely insane. Like, yeah. It's a great story. You'll hear all about it in our other podcast if you want to check it out.
Yeah, check it out.
Yeah. But I do like the fact that you said about the map. Like, big for the sake of big isn't good. So, you know, in what is it? It used to be like Far Cry, have like We have
Yeah,
the
we've
biggest
tripled
map.
the map of, it's like, God damn it.
Yeah, it's like, but why? Like, if is it the sense of, you know, if it's big and barren, then it's not good.
It used
You
to
know what I mean?
mean something. Because
It used to
PS2
mean
games were
something.
so linear. So it was like when a PS3 game's like, Assassin's Creed, like it's twice the size of whatever. And you're like, oh, well, that's awesome, right? Like it's like a big step up. But then now we're at a point where it's like, you know what? Can you half the size of the map? That'd be great.
Yeah, it's like you found a sweet spot with its graphical powerful capacity around the 360 PS3 era. Stick to that. You know what I mean? Like, don't make it any bigger. We're fine the way it is, please.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm all for that.
Yeah.
It's just too big otherwise. It's change for the sake of change, and we kind of spoke about that before. But yeah,
But yeah,
Go
I'm enjoying Ghost. So my plan, I guess, is to finish Ghost. Ninja Gaiden 4 comes out later this month. Talk about that. We've already spoken about that by the time you hear this episode. Man, this is the most we've ever plugged something in our lives.
yeah. Wait till we get a sponsor.
Yeah. Shills. I got Final Fantasy Tactics and Digimon sitting in its pretty cellophane on my shelf. So.
Oh yeah, I have Digimon as well sitting there. That's gonna be when I come back.
If you didn't have Trails, that'd be like the perfect like Japan game, I think.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
If I could play it portably,
Yes.
which I think it will eventually come to the Switch too, which is they mostly do. They're timed exclusives to some extent.
I think it had more to do with the fact that I don't think they got dev kits.
Yeah.
Right? It was kind of that, because this isn't a game I think could run effectively on a base Switch.
No, I don't think so. I
yeah.
mean, Hacker's Memory barely did.
That's a surprise. That was a Vita game.
Yeah, it ran well enough, like, but even at some points it was just a little bit of a slowdown, and the sleep function didn't work well. It was funny. I remember playing the game, and I used to put my Digimon, like when I put the game to sleep, and I woke up the next day, my Digimon had leveled up because, yeah.
That's nice.
So it was
good on them.
Yeah, I was like, oh, look at you,
Yeah.
I'm sleeping on the job. You're actually working hard. Oh yeah, the sleep function actually didn't work properly, so it should have been. But if I turned the game off, if I closed the actual switch and powered off the switch, time would travel normally. But if I turned it on, if I just put it to sleep,
Right.
my Digimon would actually act like they're training. So it was odd. It was like the initial internal clock was not working correctly. Yeah, quite odd. Or maybe it was. Who knows?
Well, speaking of consoles, I came across this article, and this is just out of the blue, and I'm interested to get your thoughts on. We've spoken about kind of next gen a little bit, and we've spoken about Xbox and some of their future plans. I just wanted to ask you more broadly, how do you feel personally about being prepared for a new generation? And the reason why I bring this up is I came across an article, and this has been in the news for a little bit, so I was kind of already across it. Moore's Law's Dead, who's a podcaster on YouTube, I think he hosts the Broken Silicon podcast, who has connections at AMD and other kind of sources through components and parts of console building. So he released into, I guess, the YouTube realm, or was on a podcast, or had said this is part of his show around next generation and some of their time framings and what to expect. So what he's kind of alluded to at a very high level is that both PS6 and the next Xbox are kind of targeting that 2027 time frame. The next Xbox is planned or should be stronger in terms of power than the PS6, but more expensive as well. And we've spoken a little bit about, I guess, Microsoft not looking to subsidize consoles as they had done in the past, and the fact that it might be more of a PC console hybrid. He also talks as part of the PlayStation leak that the PS6 will likely come in hand with a native handheld. And again, we've spoken about handhelds as well. So all that aside, the reason I bring this up is like I kind of had this realization earlier today when I was turning on my PS5 very briefly to put on Ghost. Was like, man, we're close to the end.
Yeah.
Already. It feels like PS5 and Series X only just launched, but coming into November this year, it would be 5 years.
Yeah, true, 2020.
2020. So, with next gen on the horizon, 2027, how do you feel? Do you feel ready to buy another, in an Australian dollar sense, I'm assuming over $1,000 console, potentially? 900,000 thereabouts. Likely, I think the projected kind of estimation that people are running with, and this is something more Lord's Dead said on his show as well, that he's actually expecting that the PS6 will be cheaper than the PS5 Pro, and that they're building this console with price in mind, knowing that they need something to sell similar. Right? They need a console to sell 100 plus million units, where Xbox is probably building a more boutique, maybe sell 10 million units over its life, like even less than the Series X, non-subsidized, profit-making, but an option for Xbox players. Do you feel ready? How do you feel? Like, do you feel like you've gotten the juice out of your current systems, or what's your thoughts?
Oh, let me tell you right now, my PS5 has been a media center for most of its life. It has been a YouTube, Twitch, Netflix, Crunchyroll, like media player, Plex server at that point as well. And then at the same time, then it plays video games. And it's hard because I'm trying to think of the games I played on the PS5. I played maybe less than 10 this gen.
Wow.
When I think about it, like actually dedicated PS5 games. I probably need to back check myself on that.
Yeah.
Because I've been doing the whole buy trade in return, buy another one.
Yeah, so you lose track of what you've kind of
my library is not as complete, but I don't think I've got my money's worth. You know what? Okay, I'll put about 100 hours into Metaphor. Okay, I've got my money's for. Okay, this is. I'll double it back a little bit, because it's how we used to sell video games to parents and people back in retail days. Was a movie ticket was X amount of dollars. How many hours are you getting? It's like a console is how many dollars, but how many hours are you getting? The price per hour, I think I've paid it off to a probably dollar per hour. You know what I mean? I put in that dollar per hour. It's worth $1 an hour to me. I think I've put in my money. Am I ready for the next generation? That's a different question. I feel like the games coming out, how much better are they going to get? Like, how more powerful do you need the console to be? Is there a reason to keep it at the standard 7-year mark for this generation? I mean, we know Nintendo pushed it out an extra year. Like, would there be justification to do it the same? Because I think the PlayStation's quite powerful already. People are designing it with that in mind. The reason why Nintendo kind of said, hey, let's do a Switch 2, even though the Switch 1 was still selling great, is because it wasn't as powerful. This console is still plenty powerful, at least the Pro version. So
yeah.
And if not, they're allowing optimization, balance versus performance. So I don't know. It's seeing it there that it's only, it's obviously not next year, but it's the following year. It's kind of like
spooky.
Maybe my mind will change next year, but I feel like this year it's like we probably still hold out a little bit longer. But I'm curious to hear what you think.
Yeah, it's funny. Like I just remembered that I replied to a tweet. So Push Square released an article saying, PS6 release date planned for 2027, cheaper but less powerful than the next Xbox. And Colin Moriarty is someone who I speak about a fair bit. He hosts a PlayStation podcast. He replied, we're going to enter a generation where 3 PlayStation home consoles are supported simultaneously. So PS4, 5, and then potential PS6. The math lines up, 7 years, totally normal, but this time around it seems way too fast. PS4 still has more active users than there are Xbox Series X's in the world. Slow down. And I replied to him and got a like, saying, whilst I agree, perhaps there's pressure to get these consoles out the doors because they're cheaper to build and distribute for Sony. And I also think Sony recognizes a need to innovate and have hardware in market that acts not only as a PS6, but can also compete with the new wave of handhelds that are coming into the market, right? These PC hybrids. So I wonder, I guess my lens on it all is, I agree. I feel like, and there's actually a third thing that I didn't put in there that I'll talk on in just a sec because I ran out of room in my tweet. That I agree. Like, I also feel like I could stick onto the PS5 for another 4 years and be comfortable. Because I just don't think the juice is worth the squeeze yet. But I think there might be several factors at play that affect the reason why these consoles may be coming sooner. And I think those reasons are different between Xbox and Sony. I think for Xbox and Microsoft, it's kind of like, she's cooked, she's done, let's move on. Let's move towards this PC, as a service type niche product and move away from competing with PlayStation, instead offer a PC handheld hybrid and perhaps some sort of home console that acts as a PC, that gives you access to your PC library, and that moves your old games across, and kind of slowly introduce the PCification to their fan base of hardcores, and kind of get them. It's like, we'd rather you not go to PlayStation. We'd rather you just get on PC and play on Windows, right?
If they're gonna produce a $1,100 gaming PC in today's 1,100, like we say 1,100, 1,200 AUD, and that performs pretty well, that is essentially a gaming PC that has Xbox OS, or like can run Windows and all the other applications. That's a pretty good buy, because a graphics card, a decent graphics card in Australia, is worth about $1,200 to $1,300.
Oh yeah, I fully, in my eyes, like there were stories.
I can see that.
Yeah, there were stories online around like Xbox. I think we spoke about like the Target, the games coming off Costco and things like that, right?
Yeah.
In my mind, when I see the next gen Xbox, I don't see it in an aisle next to PlayStation and Nintendo. Like JB Hi-Fi will have those dedicated aisles. Or even those aisles have shrunk now because everything's moving more digital. And then there's like the aisle of like the pre-built like gaming laptops, and that's where I see the next Xbox being, in there. So it's not going to require the kind of store space for physical libraries, because it's all going to be digital at that point. And Xbox, I think the estimation is like 90% of their players are playing digitally. And if you think about it, the math makes sense. They've got Game Pass. I think 60% of their 35 million consoles are Series S's, which are all digital. Yeah. There's also the digital Xbox Series X that plays a part in it. So there's reasons to believe that would be the case. For Sony, I think, like I said in my tweet, I think there is pressure to... Sony has been able to make the PS5 profitable as a hardware device because of how many they sell. And you see them drastically trying to pivot in places to make the console remain positive, right? So you've seen them like kind of re-release the PS5, and then it's like, oh, it's got a smaller heatsink, or it's got less
revisions.
It's got less storage, right? It doesn't come with the full 1 terabyte. It's 800 gig now in parts of the UK. That isn't for any other reason. It's like, well, we want to not necessarily continue to raise the prices, but we want to keep this device profitable. And I think also the PS5 was built in a very different time, clearly, right? It launched in 2020 and would have been in development in the mid to late teens. And I think the PS5, for what it is a very boutique console. Like, I remember when they opened it up and they're like, man, it's got a really cool fan, a really expensive heatsink and cooling system. The SSD was very powerful. So it had all these like really amped up features that drove up the price. And I think what they've realized, perhaps as part of this, is like the market's so volatile that if for the PS6 we're designing this not really, to your point, because graphics have kind of gotten to a point where there's not too much more. We can get 4K 60 or 120 perhaps, but even then it's like it's not the jump from PS1 to PS2 or PS2 to PS3. So instead of making that the priority is to release a device in market that is going to be cheap, in quotes, or cheaper than people expect, to kind of keep that console player on PlayStation and not going to PC, and kind of using the carrot dangle of, hey, you've got a library with us, you've got PlayStation Plus, your friends are here, blah, 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 to keep you on there. So maybe that's part of it, right? They want to get a device out there that's built with today's market in mind, that they feel confident will remain positive long term, and they won't need to keep price increasing, right? This is the only generation where we haven't had price cuts permanent, right? Even with slim models.
We've had price increases.
Yeah, so that was the first point. The second point was maybe that innovation that they feel that they need to do to kind of compete against this new wave of handhelds, right? Switch 2, the Xbox ROG Ally, blah, 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 blah. The third bit and that's something that wasn't on the tweet, which is something I hear about a lot when I'm reading kind of in the weeds articles about like why games are being supported on PS4 and PS5 and what the difference is between those two systems. Do you know what it is? Do you know what the main roadblock between releasing a game on PS5 only versus having it on both?
Maybe the CPU performance.
It's the SSD.
Oh, interesting.
So that is why the games that are releasing on PS4 and PS5 are being built around PS4's memory in terms of you're getting, Kratos crawling through a gap. You're getting all these different things to hide loading because they're being built with that. And then on the PS5, it's just running better. So perhaps Sony are going, we need a cheap device and we need to get people off PS4 pronto because it's beneficial for us to get everyone on the new thing. But also it means that PS5 and PS6 can coexist because as long as it's got an SSD, it actually means we can develop these things very similar to a PC on one SKU and then either build up for PS6 or scale back for PS5.
Yeah. And it's cool when they do that because you think about how well PC's done it over the years. You have graphics settings, you can have a 10-year-old GPU, you can have a 2-year-old GPU, you can have a brand new GPU, and the game is going to run to some functionality. And I think that's what's really cool about how stuff gets optimized for PC. Doesn't necessarily work always on day one, but the base specs were there. You need like a base spec. So the new base spec for the new PlayStation generation will, if it is that SSD, then that's perfect. And you'll have balance of performance settings, what I said before, and then it's gonna, because you're gonna have another not low power, but less powerful console in the PlayStation 6 handheld.
Yeah,
Like that partner console is going to be we assume is going to be less powerful than the home console if they do it separately, and then it's going to be also
cheaper. Probably
it might be more expensive because it's got a screen. It's got more.
Yeah, I guess that could be part of it. It depends on how it's built. So there's kind of conflicting rumors on it being like able to only stream PS6. In my mind, I'm like, I would nearly bet that that's not the case. I think this is being sold alongside PS6. I just think we need to get over the idea of console generation exclusives. I think everything that comes out in the next generation will be, if it's exclusive, it'll just be PlayStation exclusive.
Yeah.
And that might mean PS5 and PS6 only if it's a game that can't run because it needs the SSD.
Oh, I can tell you right now, if the PS6 comes out, both a home console version, a portable version, I'm buying the portable version.
Yeah. And then continue to playing your PS, and that will be more powerful than your PS5, right? So then it acts as and that's the benefit that they can kind of have this handheld act as a Series S type console, but not play the role as a console replacement in the sense that it's truly a handheld that can perhaps dock out to a TV, right? And offer their players choice. I think that's the thing. I think that's where Microsoft maybe made the mistake with Series X. I think the gap between the two systems was so wide that selling them both in tandem meant they're kind of splitting their audience. Where if Sony can kind of have the PS6 basically be, and the handheld be one and the same in ways where it makes sense, and lower the power in ways that it makes sense, it really wouldn't affect Sony too much if a big chunk of their audience did go to the handheld versus buying the PS6. Yeah. Because it'd be combined as one thing anyway.
Also, you're not doing a direct competition with themselves. It's always, you think about how it'd be dumb, hypothetically, it'd be dumb for Nintendo to do another handheld Game Boy.
Exactly.
When you have the Switch, you know what I mean? You don't want to have two home consoles competing against each other. You could have one portable and one handheld. People might buy both. People might buy one, but they're not in direct competition with each other because they're their own entity. Not everyone. You have your dedicated portable fan base and your dedicated home console fan base.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to see what this PS6 handheld looks like. Is it going to be back to Sony's kind of style of handheld where it's smaller, or are we going to get like a beast? I
think I think we're going to get a beast. I don't think we'll get anything smaller. I think technology hasn't kept up with the like minutability of things now. Maybe something. I reckon we're going to get something probably Switch 2 size, but a little bit thicker.
Yeah, a little bit more thick.
Some chunk.
Yeah.
Some chunk. 3 Cs.
Speaking of chunk, it's a bad segue. You mentioned before how many games you had played and purchased on PS5, and that's a good segue back into something I wanted to... I sent you an article earlier in the week, and I'm like, man, this is really interesting. So, Sukarna released as part of their Q3 2025 Future of Video Game survey, specifically around US purchasing frequency against US players. And what they had found, again, this was done via an analytical firm, and although maybe doesn't have an absolute guarantee on a fair representation of the entire world, US being one of the largest markets, and Sukarna being a data analytics company, you kind of had to take what they say with a grain of salt, but also the fact that it's mostly true. And what they had found was more than 60% of US players, so 60% of players, only buy 2 games or fewer per year, and only 4% buy more than 1 game a month, Sukarna says. So, if you break that down a little further, so according to the data, 18% of players in the US buy a new video game about once every 6 months, while 12% buy one a year. The survey also found that 33% of players buy a new game less often than once per year, so meaning a combined 63%, which is what we said at the start, combined 63% of players buy 2 games or fewer each year. 63% of 2 games per year. On the other end of the scale, 22% of players buy a new game around once every 3 months, with 10% saying they buy a game roughly once a month, and 4% saying they buy more than 1 game a month. So I'm very much a 4%er. I think I purchased 4 or 5 games, let alone in September, October, which I don't normally do. I think on average, I'm probably
the once a month, once to 2 every 3 months. I'm probably in the 10 to 2, that
10 to 22%.
Yeah.
I'm like 1.5 games a month, I say. I think I buy like 1 game, and some months I buy 2, some months I only buy 1. But it's never less than that. And then if anything, sometimes it's more. Like September, October, like I said, it will be Tactics, Trails, Ghost, Ninja Gaiden, and there was one other. Digimon. Like that's 5 games. So I've just purchased in 1 month more than some people will buy over 5 years.
Yeah. And like, you know, we're privileged to do so in that sense.
Of course.
I mean, we shop around for deals and all that stuff. We try and find what we can.
Price matching.
But at the same time, it's like we're also, this is the thing, and it's like we're not big in the free to play market as us two.
No, I don't think I've ever played a free to play game ever.
Yeah. So I play League of Legends. That's my free to play game. I've dabbled here and there with other ones.
You've touched.
But yeah, so I dipped my toes in, some might say.
You might say.
Yeah, actually. I might say. Yeah, that being me. But I think the difference is, we're not in that free to play market. We don't play Fortnite. We don't play those games. We have to. We don't play freemium gaming. Short and simple. It's so our money goes into buying a physical, not a game, but it's buying a brand new game instead of spending money on an existing one. And so I'd be curious to see if it's because those people are just really invested in the market. They've already found a dedicated game that they play a lot. They play their FIFAs, they play their Call of Duties, they play their, they'll probably buy 2 games a year. One of them's FIFA, one of them's Call of Duty.
Exactly.
Or one of them's NBA, one of them's Battlefield. You know, there's in that variety. One shooter, one sport. Like those are the 2.
Yep. And then supplement that with free to play.
Exactly.
It's crazy, right? Like we talk about us being hardcore, and I think I've said a few times, like how many games are being made. Like it's just too much.
Yeah, there's too many.
And I can't keep up, right? And I'm like, it's interesting. You've got like the industry people that are doing the podcast. They're on IGN. They're on, Last Stand, whatever. Where that's their job. They're like one stream of consumer in the like they're in that that hardcore space, but they're on that angle of it. And then I think there's another layer after them, which is like the hardest of hardcore general consumer, which is like people like me and you and others, where this isn't our job, like this isn't our day to day at all. It's just something we do as a hobby. And I'm not even talking about the podcast. I'm just talking about playing games. And we fit into that very small 4%, say, right, of generally of players. But you think about like how many games are coming out and being released, and that, you know, like I said, 5 games this month. There is only a really limited pool of people these days that can support these games, because not everyone's jumping from game to game. Like in the PS3 generation, I think this same report was done saying it was like 10% of people would go from game to game to game, where now it's like you go from game and you've got 5 other games to pick from, and then from there it's like, and there will be losers, and we've seen that. Like we've seen studios close and teams kind of disappear and fall apart. It's like, as much as the gaming pie has gotten bigger and there's more money being spent and people are making more money more broadly,
it's 1%ers.
It's across a stream of things, including heavy monetization and free to play and all these different avenues, where we are, people like me and you, are the dinosaurs that I think what we love will always be around because there will be a market for it, but we're not the primary consumer anymore in terms of like percentages.
No, we're not. Like our studios that we're supporting are making enough money to get by to make that next game. They're not in the 1% club. Like they're not Epic Games. They're not making the stupid amount of money via V-Bucks and all that jazz.
And you're gonna be lucky.
Because the games we enjoy generally do not have a store to purchase in-game purchases. That's another thing. Like we look at Clear Obscure indie game, bad example, but Trails. Trails is just a game. Set and forget. You buy it once.
I think they've got skins, but like, let's be real. Who's really buying like? Buy this outfit for Joshua. Oh, okay. All right. I think I've supported them enough personally. Game twice.
Yeah, you bought it 2.5 times.
Yeah. It's wild, right? And it's like games come and go, great games come and go, and no one plays them. Like I think.
Well, you played First Berserk Kazan. You actually really enjoyed that game.
Yeah.
That game lost in the sauce for me. Like I missed out on Black Myth Wukong. I didn't play that.
I think that one sold fine. Black Myth was fine.
That one sold pretty well. But I mean,
very well.
Even then, it's like that's where the ones where it's a solid game. No, we're not talking about anything that has a in-game store. It's just
that was like a moment in time game. It's like highly graphical, first big AAA game out of China. Like it's the story of Sun Wukong. It's this huge thing. But like a really recent example would be like a game like Clear Obscure, right? Where it came at the right time, hit all the right notes, and that they've recently announced they've sold 5 million units. Where a game like Chronos: The New Dawn, which is the Bloober Team's new game, the guys who did Silent Hill, which sold pretty well, the remake, have released this game into the market, reviewed well, but no one's playing it because Silent Hill F's here, and there's other games to play.
I didn't even know that game existed. What was it even called?
Chronos: The New Dawn.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's exactly right. And if you don't know it, you're part of the 4%, right? Like, so what does that tell you? It means like there's just too much.
Yeah, too many games. Some games get lost in the ether, and that's like really sad. If it's like, if it's not marketed right, if it's not advertised right, the other 96% aren't going to see it. But even like me being probably one of the 4%ers, I don't see it either. So it's hard. It's hard when there's a lot of hype around gaming. A lot of best thing is like a lot of games get a lot of the media. So it's like maybe like 10% of games get 90% of the media attention.
Yeah, because that's where people are Googling. That's where everything's searching. So
yeah.
So support those if you can and you want to. Like when Darksiders comes out, like that's a series that died multiple times. Literally, the first game came out, the second game came out, the studio and publisher closed. The third game came out.
THQ Nordic, is that what that was?
The original one was the original THQ.
Yeah.
And then it was THQ Nordic, and now it's still with them. But the team that made it split up into 2 teams. Originally it was Vigil Games, now it's Gunfire Games, and I forget the other one. But Joe Mad's at the other one. But anyway, to wrap up, Vinny, quick fact for you.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Yesterday marked the 16-year anniversary of Uncharted 2 Among Thieves, releasing on October 13th, 2009.
Wow. I
How do
was
we feel?
studying for my exams
Where were
in
you?
2009.
October 2009, yeah.
October 2009, I didn't have a PS3 at the time
Mm-hmm.
because I only got one when we started working at Game Traders. But at that time, I was studying for my year 12 exams. I was in high school.
Wild.
I know. And I wasn't even thinking about video games. And served me wrong because I absolutely botched my exams. But it's fine.
Mm.
Might as well just played video games.
Could have been
Would have
playing
been fine.
Uncharted.
Exactly. Who are
Oh,
you?
man. I was in year
Did you
9.
take a sick day?
I don't remember. I definitely took one for Uncharted 3. That's the famous story of my drama teacher calling me whilst I was home. Famous story as in, it's famous for me. But I don't believe I did for... It was a different time, right? Because 2009, I wasn't working yet.
No, you would have been 14.
Yeah, so I wasn't legally... Yeah, I wasn't working. I don't think I started the pizza shop until... It must have been around Uncharted. That's why I was able to get it day one, right? Like back... That was still in the era of birthdays, Christmas. I was lucky my uncle was just such a big gamer that, like... I was very fortunate to have access to a lot of the PS3 library early. Not early as in before people, but early in terms of like I didn't have to wait for a birthday. It was like, oh, can I borrow this? Can I take this? Can I do this? And
See, it's so good. Physical media, just sharing physical media like
exactly.
that. It's so good.
As Shuhei said to Adam Boys, this is how you share a game on PS4.
Oh yes,
You remember that video?
Yeah.
Good job, Shu. Yeah. Man, that was a long time ago. But yeah, I just saw this pop up on Twitter. I'm like, man, that's been a long time. Like, Uncharted's such an old series. Like, 2007, the original. Like, that is a long time ago.
That is officially retro, isn't it? 15 years is retro?
Yeah, I guess so. 2007, like, that was the year the
That's
Transformers
18
movie
years old.
came out. Like, the first Michael Bay Transformers movie. Like, it's just...
Oh, that is a classic. That is a fantastic movie.
Yeah.
But
I've got a feeling, like, Uncharted remake has to happen. Surely.
Yeah.
And I don't think Naughty Dog needs to do it. Like, that can go to another team. Give it to Sony Bend. Like, or something. Like, just in between games. Like, let's get an Uncharted remake. And let's get Golden Abyss off the Vita as well. Let's port that to PS5 or 4 and 5 and 6.
Or 6.
Maybe we get Uncharted remake with PS6.
Oh, as a launch game?
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Why not? So, happy anniversary. Happy 16 years. Uncharted 2. Most people would say the best Uncharted game. I think I've always been in the camp of 3.
I think I like 2.
But 2 is the one people flock to.
Yeah.
The train scene. Chloe Fraser.
That opening. Yep, Chloe. Mm-hmm.
Big fan of Chloe. And Elena.
Yep.
Big fan. Big fan
Elena.
of Uncharted, surprisingly. You might know this, Vinny. Big fan.
Yeah. It's almost like you've got it on your body.
Literally tattooed, and my son is named Nathan. But anyway, I think a short and sweet episode. We're just under an hour. I think we covered a lot, Vinny.
I think we did. That's actually quite a good episode.
How are we feeling? You ready for Japan?
Yeah, I'm ready for. Like I said, I'm 85% packed. I got to do my, my nighttime skincare routine, then my morning routine. All my toiletry is going to go in a box. I might do another shuffle around in my luggage. You know that thing where you pack 80% but you only wear 50%?
Yeah, you actually only... I do that even on a weekend away. I pack so much stuff and I'm like, man, did I need 4 pairs of shorts for a 3-day getaway? Don't think so.
Yeah, this is it. I'm like, the place I'm going has washing machines. I just thought maybe I'll do that. But I'm staying in the room with someone, and I think at this point we both snore. So I've bought some earplugs. So these things will come. These bad boys will come in handy.
Beautiful. Well, keep an eye out.
Yeah.
Anything Metal Gear, anything PlayStation 30th anniversary, anything you think I'd like. Uncharted 1
anything you think I'd like.
And 2.
I'll give you a call.
1 and 3 in Japan. Because I got, for some reason, I only bought Uncharted 2, the Japanese copy. I might as well get 1 and 3 because I think that's just a cool little thing. Just give me a call anytime. You know me. Even if I'm working, I'll just stop what I'm doing.
Pick up the phone.
Yeah. But I think that's it. Any final words? Anything you want to say to your future self or past? No, future self. In case you're listening to this at some point.
And I'm producer, editor yeah, I'll hear myself talk. But yeah, have a great time in Japan. See
We
you when
love
you get
you.
back. We love you. We miss you. And may the power protect you.
Goodbye, everyone. Ciao.